Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. As the year starts to come to a close, and we are definitely in the autumn of 2021, we see even more championships wrapping up and more champions crowned. So today we take a look at the final round of the World Endurance Championship from Bahrain, the penultimate round of the World Touring Car Championship, the penultimate round of Super GT from the Motegi wing, more V8 supercars from Sydney, Australia, and even a brief word on the final NASCAR round of 2021. We have lots to discuss, but let me know in the comments what you have thought of 2021 and who will win the championships yet to be crowned. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. We are well on the way to 1,000 subscribers. So let's begin with the 8 hours of Bahrain that saw the World Endurance Championship come to a close. It was not without its drama. In the hypercar class, it was business as usual. It was the number 8 Toyota that took the spoils. Nakajima took the flag in what will be his final race with Toyota in the World Endurance Championship. Never in a million years did I think the same Nakajima that ran over his own crew in a Williams in Formula 1 would retire as a 3-time 24 Hours of Le Mans winner. But there you go. Maybe there's hope for Nikita Mazepin yet. It wasn't enough to stop the number 7 Toyota of Kamui Kobayashi, Mike Conway and Jose Maria Lopez from retaining their overall championship. It's been a great year for them, winning their first Le Mans as well, and now they're the first hypercar class champions. Team WRT won in LMP2. I'm really happy for Robin Freins, Charles Milesi and Ferdinand von Habsburg. A big year for Team WRT, winning this Le Mans and the European Le Mans crown. But the drama I mentioned earlier came in the GT Pro class. The Ferrari of Alessandro Pierre Guidi made contact with the Porsche of Michael Christensen, but they weren't penalised and took their class championship for AF Course, with Pierre Guidi and James Collado winning their second championship together. All eyes are on 2022 for the WEC, with Peugeot joining the hypercar class with Toyota, Alpine and Glickenhaus, and more to come in the future. Moving on to Super GT, at least just briefly, there were a couple of incidents in GT300 that brought out the safety car, and the Nismo Nissan of Ronnie Quintarelli and Sugio Matsuda broke down in the pits. Naoki Yamamoto did not have a good race down in 12th, and that left the door open for someone else to join the championship battle. The end of the race saw a good battle between Kazuki Hiramine and Super Formula champion Tomoki Najiri. That ended with the Team Impel Nissan of Hiramine and Matsushita running out of fuel and dropping to third, and Najiri and Nirei Fukuzumi winning and closing on the championship lead. Matsushita and Fukuzumi are pretty close to what Team Impel would have been shouting on that last lap, but hey, that's motorsport. How do you not put enough fuel in it anyway? Only 5 points between the Agiri Honda of Tomoki Najiri and Nirei Fukuzumi, and championship leader Naoki Yamamoto, with just Fuji left in a few weeks. NASCAR as well came to an end, and thankfully Kyle Larson won the playoffs. I still hate the playoffs, and if Kyle Larson would have lost after winning 9 races in 2021, I would declare the whole series worthless and a disgrace. Larson winning his 10th race of the year is a fitting way to see out his rising from the ashes story, and not bad for a guy who had a highest finish of 6th overall going into the finale. I would expect a Netflix special about Kyle Larson to drop any day now. The penultimate round of the World Touring Car Cup came to us from Adria in Italy. Esteban Guerreri led early, but was quickly taken by the Cyan of Santiago Arusha. Jan Erlechet still led the championship, but he dropped back to 11th with many of his rivals in front of him. One of those rivals was Jean-Carl Vernet in the Hyundai, who found a novel way to deal with the Audi of Nathaniel Berton, shoving him off into the barriers. Guerreri was later passed by Tom Coronel and didn't gain as much on Jan Erlechet as he would have hoped, but it was Santiago Arusha who won and reignited his title hopes. Race 2 saw Jan Erlechet lead throughout. Girolami went wide on the first lap and was slammed into by Jean-Carl Vernet. Both cars were out and Vernet's title hopes are now in tatters. Tom Coronel also retired, but it was the retiring Gabriele Tarquini in what may be his last race on home soil who climbed through the field, finishing 5th overall after starting 11th. Jan Erlechet won the race though and takes a 35-point lead into the final round in Russia at the end of November. Finally, the V8 supercars once again coming to us from Sydney. It was youngster Will Brown on pole, and who led away early from Jamie Whincup. The youngster is one of the future stars of the series, I am almost certain of it, and he kept his lead until the pit stops where it all went wrong and he dropped back. He will win one day, mark my words. It was all about Whincup and Van Gisbergen though, as it has at almost every race this year. Van Gisbergen pitted much later than Whincup and caught him on fresher tyres, taking yet another win. Race 2 was damp and Jamie Whincup was back in the pack on the harder tyre, and he really struggled and sank deep into the field. Anton De Pasquale took the lead courtesy of his soft tyres compared to Van Gisbergen's hards. Whincup then had to make a second stop and dropped to last, whilst De Pasquale won and Van Gisbergen second. With Whincup 26th, this would seemingly give Van Gisbergen a massive lead, but the New Zealander would have a shocking race 3. This was a very wet race, and Jamie Whincup led early as Brody Kostecki and James Courtney ended up in the wall, bringing out the safety car for a fair while. At the restart, Van Gisbergen's race took a turn for the worse. He slipped off the track, spun and dropped to the back. He managed to climb back up to 12th, but was then given a penalty for a restart infringement. It was then revoked. At the pit stop, SVG almost pulled away, with his mechanic still attached to the wheel, and was given another penalty that stuck and dropped him back down the field again. Another Kostecki ended up in the wall, and the safety car came out again before the red flags were flown with 8 laps left, and Whincup won. Given that both he and Van Gisbergen had basically the same results this weekend, this was a weekend of status quo in the supercars. With only 6 races left, including the big scoring Bathurst 1000 to end the year, Jamie Whincup really needs to grind some good results and hope Van Gisbergen struggles at least a couple of times. It looks unlikely though, given his recent form and the fact he has won 15 races so far this year. He has more than a 300 point lead, and after the last 5 Sydney races over the next 2 weeks, if Van Gisbergen still has that kind of lead, he will be champion before the car set off round the mountain. So WEC and NASCAR are over, and I think Jan Ehrlichie and Van Gisbergen are in control of their respective championships. The only interesting title fight from this weekend comes from Super GT. Given Tomoki Najiri has the form after winning Super Formula, and Fakazumi is a former champion, and they have won the last 2 races, they could take the title at the final race from Naoki Yamamoto. But it will be close, and Super GT is super fun to watch, as is this channel, so make sure you subscribe. As for next weekend, we of course have more Formula 1 from Brazil, but we also have more supercars from Sydney, the final round of the WeatherTech series, and the return of the Nitro Rallycross. For more motorsport content, make sure you subscribe, leave your thoughts down below, leave a like and tell your friends. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.